Hey there you guys, welcome back. Again, grow space. It's getting cold, it's still cold outside, it's almost spring. So tired of winter. Oh my goodness. I'm sure a lot of you probably feel the same way. Just a few days ago we got hammered with snow again. My goodness, it's March. I don't know. I live in Canada, what am I supposed to say? I don't live in an igloo, but winter is winter. We get snow, it's the way it works. But usually not at this stage. Tomorrow is supposed to, right now it's about +4 outside Celsius. So I don't know, still less than 10, but it's above freezing. But tomorrow it's supposed to be like -14 with a wind chill of -20. So another extreme cold warning. Again, that's Celsius, so that's pretty darn cold. Which this time of year it's supposed to be around freezing. It's not supposed to be really cold. So anyway, I'm down in the grow space dealing. I'm trying to make the most of this time. It's really hard. It's really hard. My plants too are suffering. Like I've said before, I think I'm going to do a subfloor down here so that the plants are raised up off of the concrete. Because when I sit here, it's really cold. And the tropical plants are sitting on this cold, and it radiates up through the pot. So the soil in there is colder than what it should be. Which causes them, for one, not to grow over winter. So they might lose leaves, but they're not really growing out of it. So the Thailand giant, I don't think you can see it. You see the banana, you probably see a Thailand giant leaf right here. But it's really not doing anything. It's maybe put out 2 new leaves this whole winter. So anyway, I didn't come here to talk about that. Let's have some fun, okay? Let's embrace warm weather. Let's bring it in. And today we're going to make a terrarium. We're going to take a glass jar of your choice. Let's do this together. Let's have some fun. I actually, at the garden center, I found a 40% off sale of clear glassware, and one of them, it looked like this, but it had a nice base to it. It looked like a nice big wine glass, a big wine glass. But I opted to keep that upstairs as a pretty kind of centerpiece, and I took this one out of the storage. And we'll do this. We'll plant this up. Nice glass jar with a hole in the top. So this is not a completely closed off terrarium. So this one will require a little bit more care than one that's completely sealed off. But we'll go over dealing with this one in time. We'll do a completely closed system terrarium. They're a lot of fun too. So you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need some gravel. Where did I put my gravel? My goodness. I would forget where my head was if it wasn't screwed onto my neck. I've got charcoal. Where did I put my gravel? Oh my god, it's right in front of me. I got some aquarium gravel here. You can use gravel of whatever your choosing is. You can use some pretty glass beads. You can use whatever you want. You just want to have this in the bottom for drainage. You want to have some charcoal. Aquarium charcoal works just fine. I'm using this orchid medium charcoal. I thought that this is kind of cool. I'll use it for my orchids at some point. But charcoal makes it so that any standing water that's in the gravel, that maybe you overwatered your plants a little bit too much and the water's just sitting there, it will make it so it doesn't smell all gross. And my sump pump is working. It's not raining outside, but I guess the snow's melting today. And we're going to take some all-purpose potting soil, which I have in here. I've also got a few different types of plants. I've got this variegated creeping ficus, which I thought was really cool. I've always wanted to grow one of these, and I'm going to use this as my opportunity. They like it higher humidity. They supposedly grow really quick. They don't like to dry out, but they also don't like to be soaking wet. So there's a kicker, right? There's always a stipulation with these plants. They never want to be soaking wet, but they never want to dry out. I don't know. I've got this one. I don't know what this is. I think it's a goosefoot vine. There's no name to it. So the leaves look like the goosefoot vine. I don't know, we're going to try that out. This is one of the plants that I got that reminded me of my grandmother a while back. I don't know whether you can see that. Ooh. Really, really fun plant. I like the leaves. They call this a fairy plant. I know that's not what it actually is, but it's a fun little plant. And I've also got this pot of Pelia that we're going to use as a ground cover. So be creative with this. Make it as gaudy, as whimsical as you wish. You can use things like mosses, ferns. Try to keep plants small. You don't want to have anything that grows too large in these planters because they will outgrow their space really, really quickly. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that it's something that stays quite small, or a really, really slow grower, because you don't want to have to dig it up 6 months down the road. You want it to kind of stay in its place. As I'm using my hands down below the camera, you'll come down a little closer in a second. But yeah, you don't want to have something that will outgrow its place too quickly. So anyway, without further ado, let's come in and let's play around. Let's have some fun and build this little terrarium. Again, use your imagination. It'll be a much better project. I see people using, for you train enthusiasts, there's little figurines that you can use, little people. Some of them do a little bit interesting gestures. You can use little trees, you can use little animals, you can add little mirrors, and that will represent water. Yeah, have fun with it. Oh my goodness. Little buildings. Oh my god. If your planter is big enough, why not put little buildings in it? I don't know, make a little landscape out of it. Anyway, my gosh, I'm rambling on. Come on in closer. Let's put this thing together. Okay, so here we are. We've got the terrarium right here. This one's a small one. You can make them even smaller than this, but this one is going to be an easy size to deal with. We've got the aquarium gravel right here. I'm just going to put about 1 inch of aquarium gravel down on the bottom. So this is really fine grade aquarium gravel, but it will do the trick. Got a little bit too much in here. Just pull some out. There's going to be a bunch of layers in here, so you don't want to make any one layer too deep. You want to get about 1 inch of aquarium gravel. I don't know if you can see that there. Camera doesn't really. It's a round bowl, so if I move the bowl around, it shifts around. So anyway, I've got the aquarium gravel. Then I've got the. I wasn't expecting the charcoal to be actually pieces of charcoal. If you have the aquarium charcoal, that works well too. Look at my hands are all gross now. I'm just going to stick this down here. If you have the aquarium charcoal, it's smaller. A little easier to deal with. So we'll put that in there. That will keep it from getting sour, from getting that yucky smell. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper towel. Paper towel is my friend. I don't even know. As you know, I use paper towel for everything. Just off camera, it seems. Taking off the corners because we're dealing with a round environment. What I'm doing is I'm going to use this as a barrier between my stones and my soil. Don't make it so that the paper towel goes completely to the edge, because then you'll see it. But I just have it here in the center. And then when we put the soil on top, it won't go through into the gravel, which is what we want to do. We want to have a little bit of a barrier. And I should have moistened my soil before I started, but that's alright. It's always best to use a moistened soil. So we want about a 2-inch layer of potting soil. Can you see it there? Got a little bit there. Let's add a little bit more. Fantastic, there we go. Looking good. Then we're going to take our little tropical plants. This is the little, what I think is a goosefoot vine. Just a baby. Gonna take it out of its little pot. Cute little root system there. Since the roots aren't really tightly packed in there, I'm just going to stir them a little bit, but I don't need to go crazy with it. Just going to make a little bit of hole in the side here. And we will just pop it in there. You want to try not to have the leaves touch the side of the glass. If they touch the side of the glass, it is possible for them to start to brown. And you don't want that. Regular maintenance will be a positive thing with these little guys. Going in and trimming things out when they get a little out of hand. Here's the little variegated ficus. Very excited to see how this grows. Again, same thing. It's a nice little root system. It's not really doing very much, but it's good nonetheless. Oh, that's dusty soil. This one's a little bit bigger, so it's going to be harder not to have it touch the sides of the glass. So I'll maintain a watchful eye on this one. Kind of looks kind of cool. I'll show you close up after this video is done as to what this planter looks like. And then I'm going to take this, I don't even know what it is, I forget, little plant here. It's going to give a little bit of a contrast to the leaf color. Just take it out of its pot. It doesn't really have much of a root system yet. Just going to place it in there. Here we go. I'm going to take some of this Pelia. This poor thing has been so neglected by me. It gets bone dry and then it doesn't. Actually, you know what? I wanted to use this as a ground cover, but I'm noticing when I look at this plant here like this, I think it gets a little bit too tall for these plants that are in here now. I think that would be a little bit too much. What I think I'm going to do, instead of adding a plant as a ground cover, I'm going to use some of this aquarium stone. Just have a thin layer of aquarium stone around these plants. It'll be a lot of fun. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just putting it all around, having a good time with it, being creative, letting my creative mind run the show. Whatever I feel will look pretty, I'm doing. There's no right or wrong. The only thing right or wrong about it will be the watering. And speaking of watering, we're at that stage. What I'm going to do is I've got this this water bottle that we've used in the past. It's got the nice little rain head on it. Just going to water it in. You're going to water this well, but you want to let it dry down a little bit between waterings. And you also want to make sure that you don't want it to sit in the gravel. You want to water it enough just so that it stays in the soil. You don't really want it to reach the gravel. It's tough to explain. You'll know it when you see it. You don't want water sitting in the base. But that's what the charcoal's there for. If you do get some in the base, don't worry about it. You just want to maintain your plants as they are. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer to the side. Actually, maybe I'll pull the camera out and you'll see what I'm talking about. And yeah, this is a fun little planter to try. Again, be creative with it. Have fun with it. Okay, so here's the finished product. We'll take a photo of it. You'll see a nicer picture in the beginning. Well, at least I hope you see a nicer picture in the beginning. We've got it about half filled with gravel, and then we've got the... why isn't it focusing? We've got it half full of gravel, or yeah, about an inch or two of gravel in there, and then we've got the charcoal in there. Then we've got a layer of paper towel to protect the layer of gravel, and then we've got about 2 inches of soil. Then we've got our plants in there, and then we have a thin layer of aquarium gravel on the top to make it pretty. And yeah, then we watered it in. Watering will be a two-step process. I'm going to water it in again in a little while, just to slowly bring the moisture level up, because the soil I used was very, very dry, so it will naturally just run right through. So I'm just going to water it little by little by little until the soil is completely moist, and then I will leave it. Because it's not completely covered, it will evaporate over time, but it will probably need to get a little bit of a drink each week. So every 7 days you might need to give it a little bit of a drink. But monitor the soil and go on that. Anyway, I think it's really, really cute. Anyway, show me your little creations. I know that you guys are so creative. I could never even dream of being as creative as some of you guys, but this is my little thing, and I hope you enjoyed it. Getting growth on here. It's pretty amazing. We've got, I don't know whether you can see that, but right here by my fingertip,